Yeah, it's amazing how many times when we have that first meeting, a client is looking for a recommendation right away. And they're hoping that in the matter of a couple hours that we suddenly will have some kind of feedback on everything from their business plan to a logo to packaging, I mean, any part of their business. And I think there's a lot of designers who might consider giving them an answer in that first meeting, but the most honest, almost secure thing to say, like a confident thing to say, is that we have no idea. I have no idea what you need in your specific market or this project or for your parameters and budget. We don't know.
We have a lot of clients who come in to see us and they'll say, we're this and we're that and we're unique because of this, and we'll go out and we'll look at all of the competitors out there and we'll find that there's 6 other people saying exactly the same thing. And without that discovery, you're not really setting the client up to succeed. Hi, I'm Roy White.
And I'm Matthew Clark. We're the founders of Subplot Design.
And this is Design to Speak.
Then what we can say together collectively is, okay, let's start on a journey together to understand how to get those answers. We may not know your answer, but we certainly know how to get the answer.
I think there's a lot of people out there who expect and want to know the answer straight away, but we believe that it would be really irresponsible of us to, after half an hour of meeting someone, to say, we know all the answers, we know how to deliver your brand, we know your personality. It's just not realistic. So for us, it's really about going through this process of getting to know, getting to understand, getting to look at the category and the arena that they're playing in, and really figuring out who they are.
It's from getting information from outside in. It can be doing very large brand audits and competitor audits. It may involve interviews. You know, in the case of a large organization, it might be internal stakeholder interviews. It might be talking to some of their suppliers, some of their partners. So there's a lot of ways that information can be brought from outside to in, and that's our discover process. That really gets us smart, because sometimes that theory or question that the client came in asking becomes a moot point quite quickly. So they say, we think we need a corporate brochure. Do we need a corporate brochure? And we say, we have no idea. And after doing it, we say, nothing about a corporate brochure, you need a new website. They have this idea and we go, and like lob that in there and kind of make a commotion, and then everybody debates and discusses, and that's where those truths come out.
All this I don't know, and the discovery all kind of starts to come together because suddenly we do know. It's really our job and our responsibility to be able to really dive into that and to know it and understand it, and to then bring it back to our client as fodder and rich data to be able to help and tell them where they want to go. Once we have all of that information, we'll then go into a workshop with them. And the idea of that workshop is really to get to the essence of what their brand is and what it stands for.
And we go through a process to go from who their audiences are and what makes them tick, not just demographics and psychographics, but really big insights into who their market is. And then we work up the ladder to their products and services, all the way through things like shared values and personality. And we really workshop this very hard.
That's where often the real nugget is. You know, if an organization has a value and the consumer has a similar value, those shared values are the areas that you often connect. So that's often where we find that little sweet spot, or that aha moment often comes from a shared value.
And what we find is that the more moments of enlightenment that happen between you and the client before you've even put pen to paper, the more successful the whole project is going to be. Even though we're just writing documents and writing strategy, the client is excited. They can actually see it and feel it. They start to feel there's a payoff, right? So they're very happy, we're very happy. We haven't even drawn anything yet. That's a pretty exciting place to be. And really what we do from that point is go off and write and craft and try to figure out how to take all this information from the strategy and from the workshop and turn it into a plan, a very actionable plan.
As we start moving into the creative process, we're not just designing pretty layouts. We're not just choosing typefaces. We're not just choosing pretty colors. It's about creating a brand that is true to what our client stands for and resonates with their consumers. And at the same time, because we've done our diligence, is unique and ownable. Unique and ownable has to be there.
There still has to be beautiful, creative, inspirational work. But now there's so much foundation to it that the entire project has less and less of the sort of random, personal, subjective feel to it because we've put very specific things in place.
I love pretty things. I love things that I can hold and that feel great. But at the end of the day, we have a responsibility. And as designers, our responsibility is to sell a client's product. And we always say to our designers here, you better have a pretty good reason for everything that you do, even if that is down to something like choosing color. I understand there's clients out there that go to certain designers because they have a look and a feel, but it just doesn't ring true with me. I think I can look into any design-related industry and see analogies of what we do, and I think the companies that do well and succeed are the ones that take that due diligence and actually don't just go out and create a pretty looking building that doesn't function very well.
I think it's a cultural problem in a way. If you think about it, we're not comfortable or conditioned to be vulnerable enough to say, I don't know. We're supposed to have answers. Like that's sort of like maturity, schooling, life, adulthood. That's all supposed to lead to, I know. I am an expert. I put in my 10,000 hours and I'm now an expert. But I think you have to be careful about what you're an expert in. And I think that's my point, is that I don't know isn't I have no idea how to do any of this. I have very good knowledge about how to lead a client from the Badlands into the Promised Land, but I don't know how to solve it on the first day.
The thing that I'm very, very proud of at Subplot is I look at all the projects that we do and they're all very, very different. And the reason they're all very, very different is because the client's requirements have been very, very different. And the things that we were looking to solve have been very different for each project. What most strategy fails to do is create a bridge between words and documents to great creative that delivers on it. And I think the reason we do well is we create that bridge between great strategy and actually delivering on it. And I actually believe that there's very few people in that space.
It's kind of interesting that like I don't know as a thought, as a philosophy, is so compelling for us, and it works so well. It's not just that it's how our brains work. It's been very successful in starting things from a fresh, clean place. And even though in a way it goes against my nature as a person, it's so right for what we do for a living. And it just starts every project off stronger, cleaner, more honest.